beloved and holy and only child of our Heavenly Father, child of the one source, child of light, divine. That is who you are. Take it deeply within the consciousness and contemplate what that means. Child of the one source from before time began. I am the one known as Jeshua ben Joseph. Jesus, you have called me. And it is in great joy that I come to abide with you this evening in your timing, as you have chosen once again to call me forth. Great joy of reunion. Great joy of remembrance. Great joy as we meet once again in the heart and in the mind. Allow yourselves to feel the love in the heart. Allow yourself to feel connected to the love and the light which you are, that divine source that you bring into this reality to share with the brothers and sisters. For in truth, you do share it. You cannot keep it all to yourself. You are very much the lighthouses. You are very much the one who walks through this world, whether you know it or not, bringing light and love and understanding to the other brothers and sisters who are so much calling out to you in this time for understanding and for love and acceptance. For there is much that is happening in your reality, as your news media will bring you the events of the day or the events of the week or month, showing you that truly what is being called for, what is being cried for, is love, understanding, and acceptance. For brothers and sisters yet look with the eyes of separation and feel that they can see ones who are strange, not like themselves. And yet, at the heart of it all, every brother and sister is from the divine source. Every brother and sister wants the same thing. They all want to have love. They all want to be accepted. They all want to find home within themselves. And they go searching everywhere for it. And sometimes they find a little piece of it, and they acknowledge that that feels good. But they want to know all of it. They want to know, who am I? Why am I? What am I supposed to be doing? That is the question I hear most often from ones who are praying to me. What is my reason for being? Why am I here? Please help me understand why I am here. That is the universal prayer that I and my mother hear over and over. And as I have shared with you many times, when we attempt to answer, ones are off thinking about something else. Oftentimes the prayers are given most earnestly, and when the answer is given, ones are off doing something else and do not listen. So I have said to you many, many times, when you pray to me, pause and listen afterwards, because I do answer prayers. Many times your fellow brothers and sisters will say, well, I prayed very hard, most diligently, for an answer to my prayers. I wanted to know X, Y, and Z. But I didn't hear anything. Well, of course not. They were very busy thinking about, what shall I fix for the next meal? What do I have to do? When I meet so-and-so, what am I supposed to say to him? What will the employer say? What will my coworkers say? What will my pet be asking me for? All of the reasons. And when the answer is given to them, sometimes they do not recognize it. But sometimes they will come up to you. Many times they will come up to you and they will ask. Maybe not quite outright like that, but they will be wanting love. And you can give it to them. And they will understand it from you. Because you look a bit like they, you talk a little bit like they do, and there is a relatedness that they can tune into. And when you say words to them and tell them that it will get better, if it seems that it is something heavy that they are going through, you give them encouragement and you say, it will get better, because it does. you can take that, as you have a saying in your world, you can take that to the bank. Because no matter what they are going through, it is going to be temporary. It is going to be of this world that believes in time and believes that everything has to be temporary and passing. And so it does. Unfortunately, what so many have done, and you do it yourself from time to time, you allow it to pass and then you pick up something else to worry about. So in truth, speak to the brothers and sisters that they are going through, and the same goes for you, all of you, is going to pass because you're going to make it better. And then do not be in a hurry to pick up another worry. Allow yourself at least 5 minutes to feel good. The world as you make it has enough in it where you have to strive. You have to twist it around. You have to try to untwist it and to make sense out of it. And you have to sometimes, as you feel, as the human self feels, you have to armor yourself against what the others may want to say or how their behavior might be. But in truth, all you have to do is to be open and to love and to be accepting. And that is truly what you want, and that is what the brothers and sisters want. So allow yourself to be easy with the brothers and sisters, but even more than that, to be easy with yourself. Not to judge self, not to think, oh, I should be better, I should be striving, I should be reading, I should be studying, I should be out in nature, etc., all of the shoulds. Know that you are perfect, just as you are. Because you are. You are having an experience. Do not judge it. You are doing very well. You are gathering to yourself much of treasure that you carry with you in your knapsack. I have spoken of this many times, where you are very wealthy. You have a knapsack or a satchel that you carry with you, something perhaps on your back, where you put all of the treasures of all your experiences and you carry them with you. Sometimes you can even access them. Other times you may have to get the knapsack off the back and rummage through it to see what there is, looking for the answer. But you always have the answer with you. Oftentimes you will cloud it a bit with extraneous worries, extraneous judgments of self and of others. But the answer you always have with you. Now, on this special weekend, a celebration weekend, it is your Easter weekend, full of the bunny rabbits and the chocolate eggs. Yes. And, yes. And it is very much of what you are putting out there to remind you of how active you are in manifesting. For truly, the meanings of everything. You have seen meanings of the moon, of the eclipse, of everything that is happening, the springtime equinox. You are bringing everything with great meaning to yourself. And so you are going to all of your, quote, authorities and asking them, what does this mean? How do I interpret this? But I will say unto you that your own interpretation is as valid as anyone else's. So allow yourself to sit with what is going on and to interpret it for yourself. If others give you a clue, sit with it and see how that feels. And if it feels like it does not have meaning for you, that is okay. It has meaning for the one who was giving it to you, but it may not be what you will take from it. And you say, well, I'm not an authority. I haven't studied. I haven't gone to classes. I don't have a diploma or a piece of paper saying that I am an expert in all of this. But if you have the experience within your consciousness, in other words, if you know something is happening, then you also have the expertise to interpret it. There is nothing beyond you. So yes, look to your experts. See if it resonates. See if it is something that you want to celebrate. And I will say there is much to celebrate at this time. Allow yourself to feel happy about what is happening. Not to get into the muck and mire of everything that you have read about for a long, long time as to what the world is doing. You have enough of that day by day being reported to you. But allow yourself to look past that to the divine self of you and know that truly you are the one who is making the signs and portents in the heavens for yourself. And they are good. Now I know in the evolutionary process there has been much of fear that has come down with something happening in the heavens, and the interpretation often would be of fear. But you have evolved from that, where you can look upon the changes in the heaven, and you can celebrate the changes, knowing that you have brought them about. And whatever you bring about comes from within you. And if it comes from within you, it cannot be bad, unless you believe it to be bad. And that changes. So if it changes, it cannot be a truth, can it? Only momentary. So celebrate. And celebrate this special weekend as a time of remembrance that truly you are much more than the body, much more than the human experience. That is what this weekend is about. Much more than the time that would be spent in the tomb. And I share with you that many times, even in a lifetime, you feel that you are in the tomb and wondering, how is this going to turn out? Am I going to get out of this tomb? Have you ever felt that you were in a tomb, that perhaps you had died and you didn't know if you were going to come alive again? Everything seemed too heavy, too big, too real, lowercase r, and it was going to overwhelm you. That perhaps what you were being given was not what you had expected. And perhaps you were going to be sealed in this tomb of unknowing for a long time. That is one of the, quote, normal things in your experience so far, but you are evolving past that. And that is what this evening is about, is to speak of a remembrance of 2,000 years ago, when I spent some time, as you measure linear time, in the tomb, and to then take from that an understanding of when you feel, perhaps, you are encased in a tomb, and wondering, can I come out of this tomb? And it is a tomb, which we will speak of in a few moments, a tomb of your own making. So if it is a tomb of your own making, yes, you are going to come out of it. It was the same for me. After I had deceased the body, and I allowed it to rest in the tomb, I had questions. I had first the question, was it possible to decease the body and still be? And all of your loved ones who have gone on to a new experience have had the same question. Beloved elder had the question as he allowed the body to be deceased. Will I still be? Where will I be? What will I be? How can I be? And this happens momentarily as one's will lay down the body and decease the body. But that is truly all that you do, is you leave a shell behind that you are finished with and that you no longer need. And if you were to want to resurrect it immediately, and most often the loved ones do not want to do this, they want to raise up a new body. Exactly. So that they do not immediately upon the third day resurrect what would seemingly be an old body. But I will digress for a moment here. I did not raise the old body. It looked to be similar, but it was a new body. It was new, enlightened body, so that when ones looked upon me, they did not recognize me right away. The light was too bright. I had to learn to turn it down a bit so that ones could see me as a human being. At first I was the light being as a body coming out of the cave that I was in. So I was not recognized. And this is what happens with the loved ones if they would energize the body again. But as I have said, they want to have a new body at a certain age. I have heard all of you say, I don't want to come back here, and if I do come back here, I want to come back in my prime. I don't want to forget everything that I have paid so dearly for in this lifetime. So as you have that remembrance, it will be as you decree it. Okay, that seems kind of far out. Okay, Jeshua, how am I going to manifest a body in my prime when I've not been that way up to this point? Isn't it going to surprise all of my loved ones? Aren't they going to wonder what happened to me? Yes. But I will say unto you, you are the ones who are playing with that idea. You are the ones who can make it possible. You don't have to. But you are the ones who are playing with that idea of resurrecting a body after you have laid it down in a new fashion, a healthy fashion. Does not have to be the same one that you've used and abused from time to time. It can be, if you determine that that is what you want, it can be a new body. And you will then manifest even in your prime, if you believe it. If you believe it. Now I know as you sit here, you feel, well, that's a good idea. I really like that idea. But could I do it? Not yet, because you don't believe it 101%. But you have time. Time is a gift that you have made for yourself in this reality. You have time to sit with it in your meditation, your quiet times. You have time to sit with it and to know that others have done this. You have masters in other lands, perhaps. You have masters in this geographical location as well, who know how to do that which seems impossible. You read their books. Sometimes you go and you sit with them, and you ask of them, share with me. You may not even put it into words, but if you are in their presence, this is what's going to come through. Share with me how you have done what you have done. And they will say, it is simplicity itself. When you make it too complex, then of course you can't do it. But it is simplicity itself. So I throw out breadcrumbs, ideas. I say to you, think upon it, meditate upon it, chew on it, see what it tastes like. Allow yourself to see how it would be if you lay down a certain body and then you are energized. Even as you go through physical challenges in this lifetime, how would it be if in the next moment the body was not screaming at you to have to bring up whatever you do with the cough or whatever? How would it be if you knew yourself to be truly the spirit, the energy that activates the body? Play with that. Don't wrestle with it, but play with it. Invite it. See how it would feel. Because truly in the next moment, you can accept it. Healer. You know how to heal the foot. But remember when you had it broken, and within a short time, a week, it was healed. Anytime the body is feeling that it might have to have a bit of a tune-up, instantly you can do it. You remember the foot. You remember the energy that comes in as you invite it to come in. That which you might have been feeling when you walked in the door to come to this place, it is gone. It does not exist in this moment. It can't. It's left back at the door. You are a new person as of this moment. And that which you were feeling before is no longer true. Same for you. No longer true. Allow yourself to rest. It is good. You have done your work. That which you have been working with in this lifetime, this last few years, it is gone as well. You remember this other one in the healing of the foot. Yes? It is true for you as well. You are no longer in the tomb. You are coming out of it. And you are coming out of it whole and perfect. I say unto you, this is the truth of your being. And if you will accept it, it will be done unto you. Therefore, feel alive. Do not question. Do not say, well, Jeshua could do it because he had studied many years. He was the Christ and knew himself to be the Christ. And of course he could do it. I say unto you, you are the Christ. Right now as you sit here feeling sort of lumpy perhaps, you are the Christ. All you have to do is to accept it and to energize the body and to say, who is in charge here? Because you are in charge. You have set up generational patterns that you have accepted from the parents, from the ancestors, from your peers. You have accepted that this is how life has to be. But I say unto you, if I could do it, if I could resurrect the body in the tomb, you can also. You have much more going for you than I had with a deceased body lying on the pallet there in the tomb. You have much more going for you. Okay. So you can do it. Now, I come to the second part. I had help. I had help. And you have help. I had help with other masters with whom I had studied when I was activating that body and traveling to various places. I had masters who were friends, and I called upon them to come and be with me. We spent some time reminiscing. We spent some time being happy with each other. We spent some time saying, remember when the foot was broken and we had to heal the foot? Remember when I have walked with you? Do you remember how you prayed to me and you wanted to know more? And you said, there must be more to life than what I am experiencing. I want to know. Remember. Okay, you have had masters in your life. And they did not have to be the ones who seemingly had the diploma on the wall with a little certificate and a ribbon hanging down from it. You are surrounded by masters, seen and unseen, each and every one of you, here in this room and within the sound of my voice. You are the masters to other ones. You may not recognize it yourself. Quite often you are the last one to recognize it and to accept it. But others can see. Others do see the master of you. You look in the mirror and you say, well, the hair needs a little bit of fluffing or whatever. You are the master. How do you think you have lived all these years? Oh, well, I just got lucky. No, you did not just get lucky. You are the energetic, divine energy that activates the body. And I say unto you, it is always your birthright. It is always with you. Anytime you want to take a hold of it and you want to go skipping through life rather than kind of going through life. Okay. Some days I see you. Some days you may do the best you can do, but the inside part of you is saying, not another day. I see you, and I see past that. It reminds me of some of your card games. I will see you and raise you one. Okay, remember that. I see you. I know that which you are. I know that which you can do, if you want to. Now there is nothing that says if you can raise the body, then you are above everyone else. That is not true. You are all made out of the same cookie dough. You are all the Christ. You all have the same energy, divine energy. You all have the same healing energy as I have. It only takes a small switch, a change in looking at yourself to understand that I am not separate from you. I am not ahead of you, above you. I am not on the cross to be worshipped. I am not down from the cross in order to be worshipped because of something that I did. I did it for you, not so that you will feel guilty. I did it for you so that you know what you can do. You can do the same. And we do not need to be speaking of bodies here because you do not have to resurrect the body. But I speak to you to resurrect the spirit of you and to come alive one more time in the life that you are living, to be happy in that life, to know that there is something good that you are doing and can look forward to. You do not need to go through the next few days with the head down, feeling that, oh, well, I have to study a few more books. I have to read a bit more. I have to talk with a master. I have to call a master to show me how to be. Already you have that divine spark within you. And you will never have more of it than you have right now. Take that deeply to heart. You will never have more of the divine energy than you have right now. You are already a wonderful package. You are already that divine energy that you have put into form so that you can relate to the brothers and sisters. You can laugh with them. You can dance with them. You can ride the motorcycle with them. You can go with the wind in your hair and say, this is life. It is to be celebrated. That is what the masters and I spoke of in the tomb, while we allowed the body, the cells of the body, to rest and to heal. You have seen the miracle of healing where you have scraped the hand, the finger, or maybe when you were small, you scraped the knee, you fell down. What happened over the next few days? It healed. You get a cut on the arm, you put a bandage around it, and then you look at it some days later and it's healed. There's new skin there. Why? Because of the divine energy that you are. It knows what to do. You didn't have to sit there and say, okay, one more cell, a little cell over to the left. It knows what to do. That is the divinity of you orchestrating it. You take it for granted. Celebrate it. That is a resurrection right there. A resurrection of a number of cells resurrecting themselves, healing themselves. And you say, oh, well, that's no big thing. It would be if it didn't heal. Okay, take that and think upon it. It is a miracle. Anything. There is no order of difficulty with miracles. The scrape that you get and it heals is as important as anything else that happens with the body, anything else that happens with the understanding of spirit within the body. There is no order of difficulty. One miracle is a miracle, is a miracle, is a miracle. And you say, well, Jeshua, of course it's going to heal. I know it's a little healing, but I've got something really big going on with me. No order of difficulty. A miracle is a miracle. You have yet to accept that. It sounds good. Must be true. Jeshua said it was true. He even wrote it in a book. Therefore, it must be true. But have you really taken it within and lived from that space of the miracle? The resurrection is looked upon as a miracle. And it was, and it is. But in truth, no greater than what you do when you allow the body to heal that scrape. I know this is not what your religious philosophical groups will tell you, but it is a truth. You activate the body, and when you want to trade it in, you will trade it in. No biggie. To the loved ones who maybe don't see you because you are yet on the other side of the veil, as we have talked many times, and yet that veil is becoming very, very thin. You can hear ones talking to you and you think, well, that really can't be. And then you think, well, if I really tune into that, others are going to think I'm losing my grip. I say unto you, go ahead and lose the grip. It's okay. The grip can be painful as you hold on to it too tightly. If you are ever feeling that you are in a tomb, that you are enclosed and held back from being all that you can be, allow yourself to know the resurrection even in a thought, even in an idea. Because as you take an idea and you play with it, it grows. At first, you have seen this with any project that you have been doing. At first, the project may seem really difficult. It's beyond me. I'll have to get out a manual and read the how-to. And maybe you do that. And then you begin to see the steps as to how to do that which seemed to be a big deal. So you go at it little by little, by little by little, and after a while you see your way through it. Same thing with understanding the divinity of you. Same thing with understanding what you can do. And you take a hold of it and you run with it. Why do you run with it? Because it feels good to run. Because you are freeing up the Spirit. And the Spirit will talk to you. It will tell you, encourage you. It will say yes. Spirit always says yes. Human understanding often says no. Spirit always says yes. Go for it. And if it doesn't work, try another thing. And it will work. When you emerge from the tomb that has felt like death itself, you will be, you have a saying in your world and I'm going to use it, you will be a new person in Christ. Because you will have understood what it means to be Christ, what it means to activate the allness that you are. You want to be healer, yes. The true healing is to come alive. The true healing, that which heals everything, is to come truly alive and to know that you can emerge from the tomb alive. I thought I was dead, but I live. But now I live. You have clues all around you. You have friends who encourage you. You have books that allow you to study, to think, to ponder. You have masters, whether they look as a master or not. Sometimes your greatest masters are the ones who come up and confront you and push you a bit. But they are your best friends. And they will push you to the place where you may even scream at them to leave me alone. I have heard you. My beloved friend and teacher, she has said that to me a few times. She has screamed at me. But it is okay. Because what happens after the screaming? Peace. Silence. And acceptance. So it is, as I have said other evenings, it is okay to scream. It is okay to use that energy. but allow yourself to feel the peace that comes after it. That peace of acceptance and the okayness. For truly, after you have emptied yourself of all that which seeming has stood in your way, there is a peace that descends, and all of the answers you have ever sought are in that peace. And you will emerge from the tomb radiant as the divine being that you are. So be it.
you.